Hello? Hello? Please, I know you can hear us. We are trapped here in the spaces between worlds. It is a wonderful yet terrifying place, and only our voices escape. You can help us. You can let us in before we go mad.
Larry, quite contrary.
"How does your garden grow?"
asked Larry, even though it wasn't a question. He knew damn well how the garden grew. Oh, but I just couldn't stay mad at him. He was, after all, my only friend and companion in these dark days. Friendship is transactional. You take a little guff and get a whole lot in return. At least, that's what I keep telling myself every time I have to dig another hole. The first time I met Larry, I knew he was special. Just a little slender slip of a thing, a bit rusty and crusty around the edges, but a sharp fellow nonetheless. He'd just been lying in the gutter, discarded like yesterday's rubbish. I picked him up and dusted him off. He gave my ear a nibble and whispered,
Larry, quite contrary."
From then on, Larry and I were thick as thieves. I felt safe around him, even though he had the habit of giving me a playful cut or two every now and again. He couldn't help it. It was just his nature. On the flip side, he always tried to help out, in his way. He loved to bring me gifts. At first it was just a purse, a clean slash through the strap. Inside was a wad of cash and some jewelry. It was just enough to cover the rent and electricity. "Thank you, Larry. You don't know how much this means to me," I had cried, my stress melting away like a cheap candle at the flame of his generosity.
"How does your garden grow?"
he had asked. I didn't understand. How could I have understood? Shelter assured for the time being, I was still left with the niggling of hunger in my gut. Larry was eager to oblige. I found the tabby cat, intestines spilled from its belly, at the foot of my bed.
"Larry," I scolded, "I can't eat that." Larry, quite contrary," he replied matter-of-factly, but I could tell he understood. I gathered the cat into a garbage bag and buried it in the garden. His next gift was a box of Thin Mints. I was ecstatic. "Larry, how did you know these are my favorite?" I asked him. "How does your garden grow?"
As I pried open the cookies, I noticed something sticky and slightly damp on the outer packaging. It felt sort of like gelatin. I dropped the box as I recognized it. The cardboard was soaked with blood.
"Oh no, Larry," I hissed. "What have you done?"
All he said in reply was,
"How does your garden grow?"
I found her body in the bathroom tub, dressed in one of those cute little uniforms, her sash nearly full with sewn-on patches, and crimson staining the whole ensemble from the gash in her throat. Larry helped me separate her into manageable pieces. I scooped her up into a garbage bag and buried her in the garden.
Larry, Larry, quite contrary.
The neighbor's dog that wouldn't stop yipping and left landmines in my front lawn. She'll never bark or shit again.
How does your garden grow?
A pair of young Latter-day Saints chose to proselytize at the wrong door. So much for the celestial kingdom. All they rule over now is a kingdom of dirt.
With bloody shreds and severed heads.
The senile old fart across the way that took great pleasure from turning me in for forgetting to trim my grass. May it go to seed with his wrinkled ass as fertilizer.
And bodies buried all in a row.
A whole gaggle of ding-dong ditches. They couldn't outrun good, reliable Larry.
How does your garden grow?
I guess it was just a matter of time. Larry's exhausted, and so am I. He's covered in blood, and I in dust. Beyond that, I finally understand. It took a little extra TLC. I hadn't planted them right the first time. But now, the garden is in full bloom. They look gorgeous under the strobing red and blue light. Such a shame to have to end my viewing pleasure, but a gardener's work is never done. The pigs are here to end our fun. I wonder if they'll squeal. I press Larry's button, and he flicks open with that oh-so-satisfying swish of metal slicing air. For the first, last, and only time, our voices meld together in perfect harmony.
Larry, Larry, quite contrary. How does your garden grow?